Okay.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? Sharon J. Lawrence here. I am back with 31 days of healthy relationship tips. And this week, which is week two, we are focusing on healthy relationships in families. And I am joined by the amazing and beautiful and talented and gifted and skilled and anointed and blessed and just powerful Dr. Tanna Jackson. Hi, Dr.
Hello.
Tanna.
Well, Miss Sharon, I'm going to have to put you in my back pocket because that was wonderful. And
You're
when I need
welcome.
some encouragement, I'm going to have to pull you out.
Okay. Just make sure I'm like a size 6, 4,
I
6.
hear you. Me too. I got you.
Yes. Just make sure like I fit in there and then, yeah. How are you feeling today?
I am well. How are you?
I am well. I know it's like 8:00. Everybody's getting ready for bed, but
Yes.
hopefully they're listening to us
Yes.
as they prepare for night.
There you go.
And so, so we have a few people that are joining us already. We have 5 people again. Let
Awesome.
us know who you are. We have Miss Booker Jones, as you call her. She says, "Hey,
Yes.
ladies."
My girl, Miss Booker Jones.
Yes, and everyone else, please let us know who you are. Please chime in. I can see you there. Wave at us. Do something. And also remember to share. Please share as we're going through this segment tonight. All right, so let's get started. Dr. Tanna, tell
Yes.
people who you are, what it is that you do, your profession, and we want to hear about the foundation. So
Sure, absolutely. So hello, everyone. I am Dr. Tanna Jackson, and I, how do I put this in a quick nutshell? So I, by day, am a special education director for a public charter school that provides services to help families and to keep our school-based compliant with the special education needs. I help to facilitate IEP meetings to ensure that parents are getting what they need. I also support educators to understand what best practices are as it relates to our children. And I consider myself an all-around advocate. I love special education. It is the heartbeat of my work. I have been doing special education. This is my 19th year, so this is really all I know. And like you stated, in 2015, we started a nonprofit organization called Reagan's Voice, which is named after our youngest daughter, to help support families of children with disabilities through advocacy and education, as we believe that if we empower one person and give them voice, then they, in return, share that voice with other parents, and it becomes a trickle-down effect that provides change for something that's well needed in the special education community.
wow, you're busy. That's a lot, but it sounds very impactful.
It's rewarding for sure.
Wow, that is awesome. All right, so if you guys are listening, please look up Reagan's Voice. If you need support, you're in the community, you have a loved one, reach out to Dr. Tanna in the state or outside of the state. It doesn't matter. She can help you. So please reach out. We'll make sure that all her contact information is here at the end. Or if Ms. Jones would not mind, if she can plug in what that website is for us. Would you tell us that website, Dr. Tanna?
Sure. It's reagansvoice.org. So that's ReagansVoice. And people can also inbox me. And if they need to reach out via phone, they can do so at 202-750-0453.
All right, I got the number.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into this topic of being able to have healthy relationships in families, with families, as you kind of manage through all of this. So can you talk about some of the things that you see either with families that you work with or even you yourself, like something that you may have experienced?
So I think that one of the things that is really important to build healthy family relationships is to create boundaries, which I was just sharing with you before we got on live, which is something that is really hard to do for most families because we just by our culture and by nature, staying busy means that we've like reached this level of success, or it makes us feel great. But in order to really balance the family life out, you have to prioritize. And I feel like sometimes that's just something that a lot of our families struggle with, just because life is so busy. And sitting down and prioritizing and making family first is just not something that our culture now really embodies like it used to back in the day. There's so many activities and things that we have to do that no time is really sacred anymore. So one of the things that I feel like we have to get back to is learning how, and I'm still learning every day, so this message is for me too, it's learning about prioritizing, keeping things balanced, and understanding what's really important, because the things will come and go. But the relationships that you build with your family, that's sacred. And so you can't get those times back. Because I think about my oldest daughter next year will be a freshman in college, and I'm still trying to figure out, how did this happen? Like, you know, where did the time go? Right? And I'm like, how? When I'm only 25. But I'm just thinking about, like, how do we do all of this? Right? Like, balance the other children. And I'm thinking about, like, those things because we're so busy that I think that families really have to, like, hone in on priority and building the relationship with people in our family unit to make it count.
Right. I think you said something that's very key, is it culturally over the years, we've kind of set this standard of how we interact with one another. So to say you have to put boundaries in place, it's almost like it's blasphemy for some people. It's like, wait, what do you mean boundaries? Like, what do you mean you don't have time, or you can't do this? That's difficult. So can you talk a little bit about the messaging? How do you relay that to people, that boundaries are necessary without using the word boundaries? Because when you say that, people hear, I'm being cut off.
Sure. So I think, and I love this, Ms. Sharon, because you actually said this when you did a training for some of our families, and I have been using it. And I always tell the people, I got it from Ms. Sharon. But you indicated something that was so powerful. If people don't question your yes, you shouldn't question your no, right?
Yep. And let me give credit to that, who I said it in the training, but I know she's listening. Latasha Matthews said that during her training, and that changed my life. And so ever since, I've been sharing that.
Yes, you have.
Because it's powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
It's extremely powerful. So when you shared that, even then, it really kind of shed some light. And so when we talk about creating boundaries for people, like you said, it's not distinctly saying, nope, I'm not going to do it. It's just really getting to a space where you create what is important, and then you share that importance with someone else. And I think also too, it's not always having to give this excuse about why you can't. Just your ability to say, right now, this doesn't work for me. Thank you though for thinking of me, or, you know, my family has something else planned, but should something come up in the future, please let me know. So I think doing those things, but I do think that because our culture is set that way, we feel like we have to explain, right? So why I can't do something, I have to do this, I have to do that. And just instead of saying, you know, it just really doesn't work for us right now, but thank you so much. So, you know, showing gratitude that someone would think enough to do that, but then also putting the people and the things that are important to you kind of in place to ensure that you protect that. And once you do that, people will become more intentional about things with you because they know that the boundaries are set. And it gives you a focus to kind of breathe a little bit, because I always believe that we can give so much. And then we get to a space of burnout. And then the thing that we love to do most, we're no longer motivated, not because we don't want to, it's just because we have nothing left to give, right? And so then we give half of whatever, you know, and then we feel guilty. I know I do. Because I want to give my all, but I just don't have anything left to give.
It's draining if you're not careful.
Very much.
And I like how you basically said what I presented that day, and that is that basically you teach people how to treat you.
Absolutely.
When you don't set boundaries, you let them know that you are not the priority, therefore they don't treat you like you're the priority.
Absolutely.
But when you start doing things the right way that protects you and your peace of mind, therefore they start to catch on, and it may even become contagious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
so I think that is extremely key.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dr. Tan, let's see who we have watching. We have 14 people on with us right now. My cousin Clinton is actually on from South Carolina. My cousin Brenda's on from Jersey. First Lady Tandra Reed is on from right here in Maryland. Melissa Howell is on. Melissa, let us know where you're from so we can give you a shout out. Letitia Green Gerald, that's family. She's down in North Carolina. Tisha, tell me if I'm right or wrong. But all the other folks that are watching, hey, William Batts from Baltimore, let us know where you're connecting with us from. We want to give you a shout out and say thank you for watching. And remember to please share. We're talking about healthy relationships with families and how to make sure that you're taking better care of you and your family structure. So, Dr. Tanna, so as we're talking about these boundaries, do you have any questions on your end?
No, I was just looking. Not yet.
Okay.
We're good.
So as we're talking about these boundaries, being okay with saying no, can you talk a little bit about the messaging that you give yourself as you're in that process with families and dealing with guilt that you may have and making sure that they're okay as well as you being okay?
Yeah, so one of the things that I am learning to do, as I said, this is a work in progress, having to talk to you and some of my other great friends who are therapists and kind of working through why this is so important. One of the things that I kind of walk myself through is at the end of the day, I have been charged to do something and have something in my hands. And I often don't take that lightly that God has charged me with that. And so then therefore he charges me to also be responsible. And one of the things that I've learned that I've taken myself through the process is one of the bigger things is if I burn myself out and I don't put the boundaries in, I will force the people that support me to do what I've really been entitled or been called to do. And then I put the pressure of my responsibility therefore on someone else. And so then they're now forced to do what I was supposed to do, all because I didn't talk myself through it. And so one of the things that I said to myself is, how will this impact the people that are around me and the people that I'm in charge of? And if by any chance it causes me to give so much that I can no longer do this on my own and it will require me to do something outside of that and then call on all the other people because I'm no longer in a position to, then I have to tell myself, you have to back up. And so take what is in front of you and determine what's really important. And then once you figure those things out, if it doesn't fit within the parameters of what you look at as balance, and that's not putting your own self out to ensure that someone else is taken care of, because you will have a lot of resentment, right? And so then you will become frustrated with the people that you love most because you're trying to take care of everybody else. So just walking myself through the process of how will this impact my family? More importantly, how will it impact me? Because I'm the person that's now charged to do this thing. And if it doesn't work for all of those pieces, then I have to learn to scale back or determine that this is something that I can't do right now.
So are you saying that you find yourself in many situations or some situations where you start volunteering for extra things or taking on more responsibility that you could be delegating to other people, which keeps you from doing what you're supposed to do?
There you go. I think
no, you're not seeing that.
I'm not saying that. No.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
For sure. So I feel like I have gotten better over the years, but definitely I feel like when we are called or gifted to do something, especially in families, and people recognize that naturally, you're like, okay, I could do this, I could do that because someone saw this in me, or, you know, you're really great. And you know, what I have recognized is that, you know, doing too much of something that you're not supposed to do isn't great. Like, it doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you more important. It doesn't, you know, make people look at you differently. And it, you know, and put you in a space of, you know, oh, she's so great. These things are so wonderful. So it's more or less of scaling back and saying, if family is the priority, right? And that's what we're to be focusing on. If I start volunteering for all of these things, I will have nothing left for them or myself. which is really dangerous.
Yeah. So you're talking about the true spirit of a helper, because
Absolutely.
helpers don't know how to scale back. It's really something. It's a skill set that you have to be educated on,
Absolutely.
and put into practice.
For sure.
And one of the things about it is that some helpers, I'm not going to say all, and I'm not going to say many, but I'm one of those helpers that sometimes will pray for, like, man, God, I wish I had like a super selfish spirit. Because then if I didn't care so much, I probably wouldn't do so much. But I know that that's not how he made me.
Yep.
So we have to ask for wisdom in how we do things, right? And I can think of today, Dr. Tanna, I went to lunch with a girlfriend. And there was a table next to us with a group of people, and a cup spilled, had some water, nothing major or whatever. And I immediately grabbed some napkins and I passed them over. And then they were trying to call for help. So now I'm reaching back to try to call for help. And my girlfriend says, Sharon, it's enough people at that table. They got it. And I said, yeah, because I said, if it's 5 more minutes, I might be in the kitchen looking for the mop.
You will be. You will be.
And trying to help. And she was like, don't you move. They got it.
Yeah.
And everything in me was like, ugh.
I know.
Because I want to say, excuse me, they're trying to reach you. They need help. And she was like, don't do it. They got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I enjoyed my meal.
There you go. So I think that's the part that we all get to. I think, like you said, when we become these super helpers, it's innate, like it's a part of your nature. But just learning to rest is important. And I mean, God gives us the greatest example of that. Like he rests after all that he did, right?
Yes.
He took time to rest, and just learning that is something that is extremely important, because it really revives you to do the thing that you're supposed to do, because you're rested and you're able to think clear and to provide. And I know in my case, not be so snappy with the people that you love because you're so tired.
Keep it real.
Because it is. And I'm looking like, yep, but I'm so busy. And so it's learning about prioritizing all of those things, even with your work life, right? It's like the balance of everything, that you can't give so much, because at the end of the day, those things won't really matter. They really don't matter. But again, I think it's about a cultural switch and a change, because, when we're working in corporate America or whatever jobs, we have to get back to family is really critical. Like we're working so that we can supply for our families and then take care. But when it becomes to the point where you are so consumed with that work that your family takes the back seat, it's just not order. It's just not decency, and it's just not order. And that's what it is.
Yeah. Somebody misses out along the way.
Yes.
And that's not what was intended.
Absolutely.
Talk about that modeling piece, because as I was listening to you, and we talk about snapping at people, and I actually use it as an example today when I was sharing with someone that, there are times that you get to that point that you realize you're done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people don't always understand it from the perspective of, oh, she's done. They see it from the perspective of, oh, you're not going to give me what I need? Yep. And what's the messaging that we can give those people on the other side? Is it kindness? Is it patience? Is it grace? When you're talking about healthy tips, what is the messaging that we can give to people as the family, as that community of support, to understand what that individual may be encountering as they're trying to give their all and be 100%?
Sure. So I think you kind of said it in all of those things. One of the things is that you do everything with grace, and understanding that once you have set the boundary, it is never your job for someone else to understand it. Once you put it there and you're pure at heart at what you're doing, and you're really saying, this is all I have, I'm always reminded that it is on the other side, they would do the same for themselves. So it's like, if you're saying it and you've set the perimeters, like I'm able to do the following things, the additional things I'm just not able to do, and be okay with saying I'm just not able, and then letting things fall the way that they may. Because I always believe if you're doing something that's pure in heart, everything will work itself out in the end. And you don't have to put yourself in a position where you feel like you have to make them understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, put the things in priority, put them in space. And I do believe that there's things that just have to be done, you know, decently. So don't call them a day before and say, oh, sorry, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Right.
Right. It's still
That's
saying,
right.
you know, when they ask you a few weeks out, let me look at my calendar and get right back to them and say, you know what, this doesn't fit in. And don't let them guilt you into saying, well, you know, you should want this, or you should want to be able to do. I mean, this is going to help you. This is going to help your business. This is going to help people to see you more. So you have to be able to say, that is great, but whatever is mine is going to be mine. And as long as I place myself in a position where I'm doing things in order, it will fall. So, you know, just prioritizing, putting those things, and then being respectful with time and letting people know in advance what you're able to do and what you're not able to do, and be okay with saying that.
So everyone, if you're listening to all of this, basically what Dr. Tanna is saying to you is be okay with using your voice, which I talk about all the time. Find your voice. Once you find it, hold on to it.
Absolutely.
But don't just hold it, use it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Use it and use it in confidence. We're not saying with pride, we're saying in all humility.
Absolutely.
And I'm hearing her basically say that whether the other person on the receiving end truly understands what it is you're expressing, that's not the main focus. The main focus is that you let them know what you can do and what it is that you cannot do, and being honest with yourself. So let's see who's on, Dr. Tanna. This is good stuff. All right, we have, hey, Tina J. Fran, hey, Fran. That's my baby girl. Melissa Howell is on. She says, giving unsolicited help is a struggle for me as well. Girl, I almost went and got the mop. I almost went and got the mop. My girlfriend was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Your food is going to get cold. What you doing?
It's almost like a sign that we feel like that's a weakness. Like if I say I need help, then that means I can't do it. And that's right. You can't. Like,
you can't.
Like,
absolutely.
Enjoy your meal. Like, go do, like,
it was
do
good too.
See what I'm saying? And if you would have tried to go get all the napkins and the mop, your food would have been cold. They would have gotten their needs met, and then you would have been angry because your food was cold.
Yep. I would have been upset.
Yes.
Okay, who's there? Lexi said, that's good. We have Corey. Hey, Corey. We have Quisha. Kristen is on. And then we have Ms. Jones, who says, how do you help children understand boundaries? And how do you protect adult time in families? Awesome question. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is an amazing question. So there's always a running joke in my house. And I'm just like, I need 5 mommy minutes, right? And so when the girls hear 5 mommy minutes, they really know that. But I think it's about sharing with them the importance of, especially depending on how old your kids are, your significant other, your husband, your spouse, whomever it is, you all coming together to say, listen, mommy and daddy, or mommy, or whomever the family circle is, from this time to this time, unless these things happen, I need this time. My door closed, whether that's sitting and taking a bath, reading a book, writing in your journal, listening to music, or doing absolutely nothing at all. It's teaching them that this time, I need this, and everybody will make that sacred, right? And so I think it's about practice and time. So over time, it will get easier. I think when you're first introducing it, they will, tip the boundary, right? It's because they're your family. Like, no place is sacred. The bathroom, no place. It's like, I just need 5 minutes to myself. Right. And everybody will be okay with that. Once you set it, you have a conversation with them, and you know your family type. So I think for people to say, oh, you need an hour to yourself. If all you can have is 10 minutes until your family understands that, and then you can increase it depending on, the age of your children, what your family circle looks like, and then just use that time to be very sacred and intentional so that everyone can understand that this is helping you to help them so that you can get all the things that you need to get done on your list.
And you're also modeling for them how to, like you said, do the same for them.
Absolutely.
As they get older, they understand the value of self-time or me time.
Yes, absolutely.
This is good. Okay, who else do we have? Any other questions? We have about 4 minutes. And y'all know, at 30 minutes, we cut this. We only got 30 minutes. We chat and we go.
That's right.
Because we only 25, but we go to bed at 9 o'clock. So
that's it. I know it. That's right. If there was no, while you're looking for the questions, I did just also wanted to share something that I feel like is important as we talk about the balance. I'm throwing in with the families who have children with disabilities. Oftentimes that can be a strain sometimes because it's so hard for you to supply for the child that has the disability, that you put that pressure and that strain. So it's important to have that balance and have those that are in your family to check you when you're doing way too much, right? And so giving responsibility to everyone and not overdoing it. And I found myself doing that a lot. Like, I have to do this for her. I got to do this. And it wasn't until my older children said, she can do that. You know, she's able to do these things. And I get so caught up in, well, you know, I have to make sure that these things are done a certain way, when they taught me really that it's okay, Mom. And like, she can do those things. And in actuality, girlfriend was sitting back and I was doing them, and the whole time she could absolutely do them. So taking that, like, she was just enjoying the whole thing. And meanwhile, I'm driving myself crazy trying to make sure that these things happen. That's important to do that because, you know, you got to get to a space where you don't allow that to be a strain while trying to help, because then your younger children will be resentful, and you don't want that. Or the children that don't have the disability be resentful. Your spouse to be resentful because you're doing so much for them that you're not giving everybody else the equal amount of time. And then for you, feeling stressed out and then getting angry when no one's chipping in, when you've made this job look super easy. Why? Because you never asked for help.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, you make this job look super easy, and it's not, and you never ask for help. Then you get mad when people don't volunteer. Like, that's supposed to read your mind.
Take off the cape, y'all.
Take it off. It's already worn. Holes are in it. It's hanging on by the string. So it's okay to take it off. Yep, it's okay.
You can wear it, but let them know that there's a tear in it. Let them know you don't fly on Mondays and Wednesdays.
No.
Like, you know, there's not enough gas in it.
No.
Whatever you need. So take off the cape or rip it a little bit, but let it be noticeable that you're not perfect.
Absolutely. Yep. And this job is not easy. No, we just make it look that way.
Yes.
I am guilty as charged.
Yeah.
And both hands.
My name is Sharon Lawrence. I almost went and got the mop.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, that was good information. Thank you for sharing that, because I know that's your specialty, but we almost forgot to cover that. I'm glad you remembered.
Yes.
It is so important to make sure that you are willing to pay attention, especially if you're in a home where maybe someone attention to how gifted and talented your child is.
Yes.
And so, you know, you may not have that person to check you. So every now and then, maybe do that check-in with yourself. Hey, do I need to pull back and make sure I give some more independence to my child to, you know, so I can start instilling, you know, trust and independence and allowing them to see that I believe that they can do this, and it takes some of the pressure off of you.
Yes, and I like that check-in, even doing that check-in with your family. Like, how am I doing as a mom? How am I doing as a dad? So that those things can help you be reflective, so that you can have that nuclear family strong, because we need each other at the end of the day.
We have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Comments. Clendell Lowe says, this is great stuff. So glad I came across this on my live feed. Jay Jackson, just checking in, but wanted to know if we can give an update. Is this a conversation for just women? No, it is for men and women. It's for families, and making sure that people have healthy relationships with their families while trying to manage and do so many things on a day-to-day basis. We are at the end of this, Jay, but we ask that you share it and that you catch it on the replay so you can get all of the information, because it may be beneficial to you or someone in your life that you truly care about. But before we go, Dr. Tanna, tell the people how they can find you again and what is coming up for you. Yes,
so thank you, Ms. Sharon. So thank you again for having me on. I was so excited and felt so privileged because I love Ms. Sharon. So they can find me on all social media platforms under Reagan's Voice. Every Tuesday live here on Facebook, we have something called Sped Tip Tuesdays with me. and I provide free tips for families of children with disabilities. So we would love for you guys to hop on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here. Also, if you have questions or need support as you're navigating the special education process, please reach out to us. You can direct message me, or you can give me a call. I gave out my number earlier. And you can also reach me sending me an email. You can also reach me via email at Tanna, T-A-N-N-A, at reagansvoice.org. So you can email me there, hit me up on all social media platforms under Reagan's Voice. If you would like to check in with us and follow us on Instagram, I provide a inspirational message to families every morning. So it's something that just to get you through your day and to stay encouraged in this journey of walking alongside your children with a disability.
Awesome. I hope you all caught that. All right. Jay says, great news.
Okay, great.
He says, hi, Dr. Jackson. We're still with you. We're still with you, Jay. So, Dr. Tanna, thank you again for joining me this evening.
Thank you.
And I am grateful for this opportunity to kick off week 2 of 31 days of healthy relationship tips. You guys, we have how many more days? I'm a social worker, so I really can't count. What's 31 minus 8? Somebody help me out. Is it 26? Is 24? No, 25. No. What is it, y'all? 23? I think it's 23. We have 23 more days. I know people are going to laugh at me for days about this count.
It's okay.
We have 23 more days before the end of the month. And for the next 23 days, we're going to have more speakers coming to share information with you. This week is focused on families. The following week is on friendships. The next week is on self and how you deal with you. And the last 3 days of the month, we will focus on your relationships with work. And so please tune in every night at 8 p.m. and remember to share.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Tanna, that is it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Jay. Jay's like 23. I don't know who Jay is, but you the man, Jay. Thank you. You are helping me out. See, this is about helping each other and taking help from one another.
Right.
So I appreciate that. All right, everyone. We are signing off.
Yes.
Dr. Tanna, let's say goodbye to the people.
Bye. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.